Let's set the stage. It's 1977, and the singer-songwriter wave is peaking. James Taylor, Carole King, and this sensitive acoustic crowd still dominate, but rock is getting restless, with disco about to swallow the charts. Enter Jackson Browne, fresh off the breakthrough success of The Pretender in a world of personal tragedy. He escapes to the safest place he knows, the road. He takes his band out on tour, while a record plant mobile truck tails every show. Brand new songs are written between sound checks and in hotel lobbies, captured live in arenas, whispered into mics at 2 a.m. at the Holiday Inn, banged out on a tour bus, and performed while the stage lights are still warm. Just life on the road, caught the moment it happened, Jackson and his band, running on empty. Welcome to Album Archives, the vault of music history, where we unpack the top 300 albums of all time, as voted on by fans of the Music Rewind podcast. I'm your host, Steve Epley, and because it's my show, I get to drop in an honorable mention from time to time for an album that, in my opinion, should be in the top 300. Today, we're giving an album the spotlight it's been demanding for years, Running on Empty by Jackson Browne. It just missed the top 300, and to me, that is a crime. Proven by my own personal episode of Music Rewind dedicated entirely to this album. So here we are. This isn't your standard live album of old hits. It's 10 brand new Jackson Browne songs recorded entirely on the road, in the exact places touring musicians actually live. Arenas, hotel rooms, backstage, even the tour bus itself. It's raw, unfiltered, and truly authentic. So set the cruise, roll down the windows, and let's hit the road with Running on Empty. By 1977, Jackson Browne was no longer the promising young songwriter who had arrived in Los Angeles in the late 60s. He had already released 4 albums on David Geffen's Asylum Records, the label that became the home for the Laurel Canyon sound. His 1973 album, For Every Man, had established him as a major voice, and he was deeply woven into the scene, even joining the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band out of high school. He was close friends with Glenn Frey and the Eagles, a frequent collaborator with J.D. Souther, and deep into the singer-songwriter scene of LA in the late 60s and 70s. Late for the Sky in 1974 earned him critical reverence, but it was The Pretender in 1976 that finally broke him through commercially. That album, however, was forged in unimaginable grief. His wife Phyllis had taken her own life earlier that year, leaving Browne to raise his infant son while pouring the pain into the record. While The Pretender became a hit, Browne found himself at a personal crossroads. Celebrated, exhausted, and carrying the weight of loss. Instead of making another studio album to sit with that pain, he chose to keep moving.
Even behind the life that we began, I split myself in two. Proud and alone, cold as a stone.
This album's creation story has become the stuff of rock and roll legend. After his wife's death, Browne had little interest in returning to the controlled environment of a recording studio. Instead, he leaned into the only life he knew, life on the road. So rather than bring the tour to the studio, he brought the studio to the tour. Throughout the summer of '77, the record plant's mobile recording truck followed the band across America, capturing performances wherever inspiration struck. Cocaine and Shaky Town were recorded after 2 a.m. in room 124 of a Holiday Inn in Edwardsville, Illinois. Rosie came together backstage at the Saratoga Performing Arts Center while the crew prepared for that night's show. Nothing But Time was literally recorded aboard Browne's Continental Silver Eagle tour bus somewhere over New Jersey, complete with the rumble of the diesel engine in the background. Several live performances were captured in Maryland and New Jersey and assembled back at the Sound Factory in Los Angeles. The result? One of rock's first great concept albums built almost entirely from brand new material recorded exactly where those songs were meant to live, on the road. It's the rare album where the concept and the execution are inseparable. Every song captures another moment in the life of a touring musician, and because so much of it was recorded on the road, You aren't just hearing these moments, you're experiencing them. The journey begins with the title track, Running on Empty, one of the great highway anthems in rock history. Equal parts freedom and exhaustion, it's the sound of chasing another horizon while wondering how much farther you can go. The title isn't just about touring, it's about life. I don't know where I'm running now, I'm just running on. We've all had seasons where we've kept moving forward with the tank nearly empty, hoping the next stop is just a little farther down the road.
I don't know where I'm running now, I'm just running on empty, running to the sun, but I'm running behind.
The magnificent track, The Road, slows things down, beginning as an intimate hotel room performance before blossoming into a full band concert recording. A perfect musical reflection of a quiet moment giving way to another night's show. And it's that transition which is my personal favorite moment on the entire album.
When you stop, let them know you got it down. It's just another town along the road.
Then comes Rosie, one of the album's lighter moments. On the surface, it's a hilarious backstage tale about a lovelorn sound engineer who loses his girl to the drummer and ends up spending the night with the only companion he has left, Rosie.
But Rosie, you're alright. You wear my ring when you hold me tight. Rosie, that's my thing. When you turn out the light, I got to hand it to me.
It's the kind of mischievous road humor that could only come from musicians living together night after night. But even here, Browne slips in one of my favorite lyrics on the entire album. By now you'd think I'd learn. It's who you look like, not who you are. It's a funny line, a clever line, and somehow one of the sharpest observations on the record.
Of all the times that I've been burned, by now you'd think I'd learned that it's who you look like, not who you are. You gotta keep that in mind.
You Love the Thunder raises the energy with arena-sized confidence before Browne's reworking of Reverend Gary Davis's Cocaine shifts into a smoky late-night blues workout, featuring additional lyrics written by Glenn Frey and some absolutely phenomenal slide guitar work from David Lindley. The song walks a fascinating line. It's both an ode to the drug culture that surrounded so much of the rock world in the 70s, and at the same time, a sobering warning about its seductive grip and ultimate destruction. Like so much on Running on Empty, it refuses to offer simple answers. It simply tells the truth about life on the road.
Now I'm losing touch with reality and I'm almost out of blow. Such a fine line, I hate to see it go. Cocaine running all around my brain.
Shaky Town kicks off side 2 by keeping that intimate after-hours atmosphere alive. Recorded in that same Illinois hotel room, it captures the restless, slightly unsteady, almost trucker vibe spent constantly moving from one city to the next. On a personal note, this was always one of my favorite deep cuts on the album. There was something about its flow and its range that made it impossible not to sing at the top of my lungs whenever I was alone in the car.
That's a big 10-4 from your back door. Just put that hammer down.
From there, Love Needs a Heart gently shifts the mood, delivering the emotional center of the record. A reminder that even after thousands of miles on the highway, the search for love and connection never really ends. The next track is perfectly placed because by the time Nothing But Time rolls around, the miles have begun to blur together. Recorded aboard Jackson Browne's actual Continental Silver Eagle tour bus somewhere in New Jersey, the entire band is literally riding down the highway as they perform. Russ Kunkel's drum kit is stripped down to a snare, hi-hat, and a cardboard box with a working foot pedal, while the diesel engine hums, rumbles, and downshifts beneath the music. It's not a studio trying to sound like the road, it's the road becoming part of the band. The result may be the most authentic road song ever committed to tape.
Well, it's a rock and roll band or a movie, you can take your pick. It ain't bad work if you can get it, but you gotta make it stick. We're getting any kind of sleep on this rolling hotel, that's the trick.
And then comes one of the greatest two-part closers in rock history. The Loadout is Browne's heartfelt thank you to the road crew. The roadies, the truck drivers, stagehands, lighting technicians, sound engineers, and everyone else audiences rarely see but every concert depends on. It's a beautiful acknowledgement that when the spotlight fades, these are the people still working long into the night, breaking down the stage and heading to the next city before anyone else.
Roll them cases out and lift them amps, haul them trusses down and get them up them ramps. 'Cause when it comes to moving me, you know you guys are the champs.
Then, without missing a beat, the song glides effortlessly into a version of Maurice Williams' Stay.
People stay just a little bit longer. We want to play just a little bit longer.
What begins as a farewell transforms into one final encore, with Rosemary Butler's soaring vocals setting the stage before David Lindley unexpectedly takes over with that unforgettable high falsetto verse. And yes, that's David Lindley, the legendary slide guitar virtuoso from Cocaine and other tracks on this album, delivering those vocals. For years, I had no idea it was him, and I suspect I'm not alone there. It's one of those wonderful little music trivia bits that makes you appreciate just how talented he really was. From there, the band simply refuses to let the night end. The song blossoms into a joyful extended jam, the audience clapping along as the musicians squeeze every last ounce of energy from the performance. It's the musical equivalent of the house lights staying dark just a little longer because nobody, not the audience, not the band, and not even the crew, is quite ready to go home. After spending 42 minutes living out of hotel rooms, backstage hallways, and tour buses, it's the perfect ending to the journey. It's joyful, it's bittersweet, and like every great concert, it leaves you wishing there was just one more song. Let's zoom out on 1977, because Running on Empty arrived at a fascinating moment in music history. Disco is dominating the dance floors. Saturday Night Fever is about to become a cultural phenomenon. Across the Atlantic, punk is tearing down the old rules of rock with bands like the Sex Pistols and the Clash. Arena rock is filling stadiums as Fleetwood Mac, Boston, and the Eagles continue their remarkable commercial run. Jackson Browne doesn't chase any of those trends. Instead, he turns inward by heading out on that road. By now, Browne is no longer simply the thoughtful singer-songwriter with a single acoustic guitar. He's fronting The Session, one of the finest touring rock bands ever assembled, anchored by Russ Kunkel, Leland Sklar, Craig Dorsch, Danny Korchman, and of course the incomparable David Lindley, whose lap, steel, and fiddle become the album's secret weapon. Together, they prove that rock can be powerful without being flashy, deeply personal without ever losing its energy, and honest without sacrificing that key musicianship. It's as authentic as rock will ever be.
When you look over your shoulder
Why does Running on Empty endure? First, the concept. Executed so perfectly it redefined what a live album could be. Second, the performances. Loose but never sloppy, full of heart, sweat, and Lindley's unmistakable voice, plus that slide guitar. Third, its honesty. It doesn't glamorize the road. It shows the hotel rooms, the fatigue, the mistakes, the crew who make it happen, and the magic that makes every mile worth it. The cover art has a striking image of a drum kit sitting alone on an endless highway, stretching into the horizon. It's the perfect visual metaphor. The musicians are gone. The gear is waiting. Tomorrow there's another town and another show.
Blues in old motel rooms, girls in daddy's cars. You sing about the nights and you laugh about the scars.
What's the legacy of Running on Empty today? Running on Empty became Jackson Browne's biggest commercial success, reaching number 3 on the Billboard 200 and eventually going platinum 7 times. Critics praised this documentary-like authenticity, recognizing it as something far more than just another live album. More than any album of its era, it captured that reality of life on the road. And not just that glamorized version, but the long drives, the hotel rooms, backstage hallways, late-night jams, the worn-out musicians, and the friendships that make it all worthwhile. It was a gamble, but the gamble paid off. 2 albums later, Browne would reach an even larger audience with Holdout. But if you want to understand why Jackson Browne became one of America's greatest singer-songwriters, this is the album that tells you everything you need to know. It's no secret that Running on Empty is special to me, enough for me to close out Season 4 of Music Rewind with a personal episode where I talk about my discovery of it and how I even used to hide the CD in the Blizzard of Oz case in my car. Originally a cassette I borrowed from my dad, this album became a part of my life through my young teen years all the way to today. Every time I revisit this album, I find another life lesson tucked inside these beautiful songs. There is wisdom here, experience. Things don't always go your way, and that's life. Move on and enjoy what you can. And as always, that cynical, wonderful line, it's who you look like, not who you are. If you've never heard Running on Empty, or if it's been a minute, do it now. Throw it on for your next road trip and let it ride. For newcomers, this is Jackson Browne at his most adventurous, just a band living and recording the life they're singing about. For longtime fans, it's a reminder of how raw, generous, and alive he could be when the tape was rolling in real time. And if you want that deeper dive, check out that Music Rewind episode where I talk Running on Empty. Link in the show notes. That's it for this honorable mention edition of Album Archives, the Vault of Music History. If you enjoyed the episode, please share it with a friend or leave a review wherever you listen. Next up, we'll be back inside the official Top 300. You can go to musicrewindpodcast.com/album archives to see where we're at and where we're headed. If there's an album that shaped your life that didn't make the top 300, you can dedicate an episode of Album Archives to it. Every album has a story, and this is how you tell yours. Link in the show notes. And for those building your collection, there's a link to a Jackson Browne vinyl there too. For now, I'm Steve Epley, and as I always say, listen to the full album. Until next time.
A podcast from the Sidereal Media Group. Back to you, anchors.